Remember we were talking about that hoarder house from hell?
Yes.
All the cars, all the stuff. It took 10 weeks to clean the house out. Can you imagine 10 weeks?
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
There was a lot of stuff in that thing,
10 weeks.
That thing was jammed, man.
Not 2,
You had to go
10.
Go outside to change your mind.
Chaz and AJ in the morning, 99.1 PLR, 95.9, the Fox, Pat Finaro in studio.
Good morning.
How you doing with that? Where is that? Can we say what town, or we rather not?
Yeah, we can say everything because we want to talk about the tag sale that we're doing on Saturday.
Tag sale, nice.
Now you have AJ's attention. All right, so this is the house that had a lot of cars outside.
Parts and whatnot.
Weren't you like finding cars as you were like mowing grass down?
Yeah, well, I thought
that's a redneck joke right there.
I thought we had 13 cars, but then we found out we actually had 16.
Wow.
So, yeah.
They're
kind of hidden in the back and under brush and everything.
And last time you were on, AJ was going nuts about these cars.
I was flipping out, yeah. I mean, there was a couple of cars that were worth saving, a couple of trucks. But
you don't know unless you really see the car.
Right, but I mean, they had potential. The Firebird had potential. There was a Dodge van had potential.
And who got those cars?
We just sent them to the junkyard. Yeah. Because I'll tell you, the cars were really in tough shape. They were sort of shells. The interiors were all gone.
But also good for parts, too. Folks can't find parts.
Well, that's true. But you have to look at it from, our perspective. We're buying a house to fix it and sell it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a house flipper. How many have you done? Like 180?
Yeah, 187 so far.
Isn't that amazing?
Damn, man.
Yeah. And we're still learning. I mean, anyone could say, we've done those houses and, we know what we're talking about. And, we do to a certain amount. But we're always learning.
You guys want to practice on my house?
Yeah, for real.
I've been spending the last couple of months just surrounding myself with smart people in this area just to try to figure it out. And when you hear this guy is still learning, it's like, okay, you're just going to, kind of go along. Mm-hmm. You know what? Here, AJ, this might make you feel better. Okay. That junkyard didn't just crush those cars if there was any value to them.
Yeah, I would hope at least they part them out.
They're not going to junk them.
Yeah, because there was a couple of really good parts on some of those cars.
Right, and that's that was the whole idea. Let's just let them take them, do what they can do with them. We did get paid for them. We got something for them.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely.
I think it was like $250 per car, which is probably criminal when you look at the Firebird. I mean, that was nice. But then again, if you look inside it, there was nothing left to it. It was a shell, and it was rotted because it was stored outside.
Yeah,
so there wasn't much left to the cars. But
AJ's had more concern for these cars than the kids on the bus in the previous segment.
That's right, Phil. That's a gimme.
Wait till he hears about the auto parts we threw away.
The video that we watched the last time you were here, that house was full of parts.
Lots of parts.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
New old stock.
And you have to remember, or you don't know, but I'll tell you, I was in the auto parts business for 20 years with my dad. We had 3 Napa stores.
Oh, wow.
So this is kind of like a flashback for me, going back to the 70s and the 80s.
So sweating?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you knew what a lot of those parts were?
Oh, I knew what everything was.
Nice.
Yeah, some of the ones I even knew part numbers, but it was carburetors. We probably threw out 100 carburetors, but we saved some of them. The Holly double pumpers, we saved those. They may have some value, but
so good for you that it's good that you knew what you were dealing with.
Yeah, like a stock carburetor, unless somebody really badly needed it, but it's worth getting rid of. From what I understand, because a friend of mine actually went to that house before you bought it, and apparently that person used to own a speed shop, and he said there's an awful lot of really, really rare and hard to get speed shop parts in that pile.
And
please tell me you didn't throw those out.
We didn't throw those out, and they'll be part of the tag sale, but I think we need to find a specialized buyer for that kind of thing. But there's a lot of performance distributors, but the starters and the alternators that were brand new, not in boxes, we scrapped them. And, my father's been gone 14 years now, and I just felt him looking down saying, what
are you
doing? Throwing this stuff away.
That lightning bolt got real close.
I know, right. So
why didn't you, as a house flipper, find this one and say, let me hit pause on this one. We're not gonna flip this one as fast as we normally do because there's some treasure here.
Well, you kind of weigh out the holding costs and the opportunities.
Market can turn.
And the market can turn. Now, I just did buy something else in Meriden, so we're going to start on that. And
how many do you have at any given time?
Well, now if we have 2 going at once, it's a lot. But when I first started in I think it was 2000. 5, I think. We had, I think, 5 or 6 going at once. It was a completely different market back then, 100% financing just before the market crashed. But now we're probably, 1 or 2 at a time. We want to, be smart about it.
Yeah.
But the next one, the Meriden's not a big job. So we're just going to kind of do that quickly and then kind of sneak that in while we're doing the tag sale in Durham, and then come back to Durham and finished it.
Tag still in Durham. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how bad was this house? How many dumpsters?
Well,
10 weeks to clean it out.
10 weeks.
How big was the house? How many outbuildings?
Let me think. We had, I think, 5 or 6 outbuildings that we actually ended up giving away. And I need to give a shout out to Randy Whitehouse. He has Whitehouse Construction. He's a friend of Dominic and John's and now mine. He's one of my favorite people now because he came by with some equipment and helped really with his payloader, helped us move a lot of the debris in the yard and, pulling things out of the house. We'd probably still be there unloading things if it wasn't for him coming by. So he took a lot of the outbuildings. So all the outbuildings are gone. And let me think. We're 13 dumpsters, but it's interesting. 13 dumpsters, but that should have been 20 or maybe 17 because John and Dom have this mini excavator that they would compress everything into the dumpsters. So those dumpsters were very expensive because they were overweight, but still we cut down on the overall number of dumpsters.
Yeah, I remember doing that with the project house. Just keep pushing it.
Push it down.
You see that truck leaving with the full dumpster, and the tires are almost flat. It's just the weight of it pushing the truck down.
Like sticking in the garbage can. Make more room.
If you look at one of our videos, we had also dumpsters for scrap metal. And if you watch when they're taking it away, the front wheels of the truck come off the ground.
What the hell, man?
Well, there's engine blocks in there, crankshafts, and all sorts of really heavy.
Was that stuff inside the house, or the parts were in the outbuildings and the other stuff was in? It
was in the garage. A lot of the stuff was in the garage. There's 2 garages. There's the large barn garage, and then there's the garage that's attached to the house.
Yeah,
and they both had a lot of big engine parts. I mean, there had to be 5 or 6 engine blocks just in the garage that's under the house. And then the crankshafts. I mean, there had to be 4 dozen crankshafts. I don't know what he was saving these things for.
Right.
When you went in the house, what was in there?
Mostly new merchandise. And I don't know if any of the tribe can call in and tell us why this guy would have all this new merchandise stacked up and was organized. I don't know what he was doing.
What do you mean, like parts or just household items?
Household items like microwaves, coffee makers, stereo equipment, some clothes, just all sorts of things that they were brand new. And tools, you can't imagine. If anyone wants to come by the tag sale, you'll see.
When is it? This Saturday?
This Saturday, yeah.
Where?
At 62 Wheeler Hill Drive in Durham. And I'm not sure the time yet. I don't know. We're not handling it. Dominic's wife is actually conducting it. But it's probably from 8 o'clock or something on.
All right, send us a one sheet.
Yeah.
AJ could post it, too, so his car friends can see.
No, definitely. Let me get a hold of it, yeah.
Oh, good.
So a lot of my friends would
You're at the Oxford Car Show on Saturday?
Yeah.
So you won't be able to go, but you could post it on your Facebook.
I will definitely do it, yeah. Please, send it my way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Did you ever feel like this when you were walking through some of these aisles of stuff stacked that you were in danger?
Well, Dominic, again, if you watch our videos, there's a couple of times where things kind of fell on people.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. There were big piles of things. What I took away...
Did you do a head count of your crew after all that?
One guy's missing. I found his
Anyone see Jimmy?
I know, right? It was like human Jenga.
I thought I heard something when that last dumpster left.
Right.
Well, the thing is, we didn't know what was in the house, so John, Dominic, and I kind of really did the work ourselves. And normally it's John and Dom. They just take over, do the job, and my job is to find the houses and to finance them and to sell them. But with this one, I had
so
to
it's
jump
a house flipper, and people are fascinated with this. You can see all the house flipping shows there are on television.
Yeah,
so even the people who don't flip houses are kind of interested in the concept of it. So you find the house, and then do you decide what we're going to invest and what we're going to do, and then Dom comes in and does it?
Yeah, pretty much. But we collaborate on everything, and I'll look at the house, and if it meets most of our criteria, then I'll move on to have John and Dom.
What criteria?
Still standing.
It's got to have the right things wrong with it. Something that's what I call functionally obsolete. If it's an older home and the layout just isn't fixable without major construction, then I won't touch it.
Really?
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's just one of my pet peeves. I like conventional styles like raised ranches, capes, regular ranches, colonial, something that people are familiar with. If you get something too contemporary, and I'm sure
if you have to start moving walls around to have it make sense, then you don't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we take walls down, but we don't move walls and reconfigure as much. Because, again, you want to make sure it's cost effective.
You'll open up, but you won't move a wall.
Exactly. That's why we love capes. They're just a square box.
Yeah.
And, where's the kitchen? In the back right, back rear. And we'll just take the wall down between the kitchen and the living room, open that, wide up. And it's...
Where do most flippers make mistakes?
Buying my house. Mine's listed as hospice.
I think your house would be a good house. I would just knock it down.
Mine's listed as hospice. Most of the houses on my streets, not for nothing.
That's what they do.
They were knocked
The
down.
lot's worth more.
They want that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's Milford, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milford is really desirable. The mistake that I've seen most flippers, because we do some coaching too, is they overpay. They overpay. You make your money when you buy the house. Right? Not when you sell it. And a lot of times wholesalers will bring me deals, but they'll say, okay, well, this is what it's worth after repair, and this is what it's going to cost to do the repair. And invariably, they underestimate the repair cost and they overestimate what the house will sell for, even in this market. So that's the biggest, because if you've got some cushion, then cause you're always going to find something that you didn't expect. This house, we didn't even inspect the septic, which I would never advise. But we just didn't. And,
was it that good of a deal?
I'll let you know when we sell it.
It's funny, though, because we got a really good one in the studio right now, Pat Finaro.
Yes.
He's owner, president at Home Remedies, LLC. You watch those shows and they're like, hey, Judy and Jim bought this house for $6,900.
Yeah.
And they plan to put $5 into it, and they're going to sell it for $87,000.
Right, yes.
Get out of here.
Right.
Have you seen those shows?
Yeah.
The numbers are stupid.
Yeah.
I have a funny story, too, if you want to hear it quick.
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, when I first started, 15 years ago, I auditioned for Flip This House on A&E.
Okay.
And I thought I had a pretty good chance of getting picked. And we went to a few stages, and then finally the producer called me, and they wanted to do something in Connecticut because they were in New York and the whole thing. So I watched the show, and I said, Steve, I love the show. I want to be a part of it, but your numbers don't make sense. He said, you can't, you're saying you can rehab a house for $30,000. That's not possible. So, we went back and forth, and he said, look, this is not educational programming. It's entertainment. And at that point, I think he just figured out that I was just going to be too much of a problem child for him. But they're not realistic, and they give people false hopes. They get into the business, and then they get into trouble because it's a lot more challenging than they expect it to be.
Gotcha.
I owned a beautiful rock star kind of house, sold it to this couple. They decided they wanted to be on one of these shows. As they started rehabbing it, and they, on the show, acted like they hadn't bought the house yet. So they're walking through the house, and it's all torn up.
Uh-huh.
And they never really explained why it was all
right.
I didn't leave the house like that.
Didn't show you a picture, did they?
And I bought it from...
Yeah, and nothing really needed to be... Well, I was so angry at that concept.
You're wearing overalls, no shirt underneath it. I knew it!
Like, why would you lie on camera like that?
Well, there was another example in Atlanta where they didn't even own the house, and then after they shot the show, they pulled up all the landscaping, and they said it was the open house, but it was really the wrap party for when they finished filming, and it was just a whole scam, and there was a lot of lawsuits involved. So, yeah, you just got to be careful, but what you believe.
So we're talking to Pat about this Hoarder house from hell.
Yeah.
10 weeks to clean out. There's a big tag sale.
Yeah.
This Saturday in Durham.
In Durham. Yep.
Okay, and you'll send us a one sheet and we'll post it.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of
Absolutely.
car parts. What else?
There's I actually
tools you mentioned. Yeah.
There's a lot of hand tools. A lot. In Craftsman, Snap-on, roll-around toolboxes.
Nice.
I think we've got 7 roll-around toolboxes.
Really?
But
Seven?
the big ones.
Right.
The big
chests,
ones.
Yeah.
The big chests.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And there's air compressors, air hoses. I found one little case full of tape measures. There's like 50 tape measures in this one box, and most of them are brand new.
I just bought one too. Damn it!
I would have brought you one. I mean, I don't think they'd miss one tape measure.
Well, we all got a tape measure. That's kind of weird.
But there's like air compressors. There's
oh man,
air hoses. Here, I had to make a list because there's so much.
I guarantee you right now, half my friends are all drooling.
Bobo from Durham is on. Hey, Bobo.
Bobo.
Hey, it's a town-wide tag sale. It's not just this guy's on Wheeler Hill Drive.
Oh, is that right?
We're part of it. Yeah, it's actually it's for the Durham Animal Rescue team.
Nice.
Awesome.
And we're
even cooler.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we're kind of
Awesome.
helping out with that. I should have mentioned that. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Bobo.
Bobo. You gonna clean up?
What's the weirdest item you found in this house? Is there one?
Inhabitants.
He was smiling immediately. I did see that.
Yeah, I said I lost ink and tribe.
It depends on what I'm allowed to share.
Like a marital item?
Well, not a marital item because I think this gentleman was single, but something that a single
An enhancer.
There was a very graphically illustrated instructional manual for participating in activities with another person.
Oh. Kama Sutra box.
Is that going to be at the tag sale?
Well, it's there.
No one wants to touch it. I'm not touching that. It's still in the middle of the floor. Pick it up.
A friend of mine who's a roofer, John Gee, picked this job and was like, yeah, we'll do the roof. And then we're like, hey, would you mind throwing out the stuff in the attic? He's like, yeah, no problem. They get up there, and it's all Playboy magazines.
Wow.
Just the whole attic's packed from floor to ceiling.
Decades of them.
So they rip the roof, they rip the plywood, and they just start throwing the Playboy magazines into the dumpsters. And some of them were collectibles, like Marilyn Monroe. They're just like, gotta do this. Turns out to be a windy day. They're blowing all over the neighborhood.
Little Timmy learned a lot that day.
School bus stops. Kids are getting off. They're picking up.
Mommy, look!
Today for show and tell, I brought this magazine with pages stuck together.
What do you think you'll sell that house in Durham for? What's the price point you're going to put it on
I'm
for?
really hoping we can approach 500.
Okay.
The barn garage itself is 2 levels.
How much land?
0.8 acres.
Okay.
So, and the house is, I think, like 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
And 3 bedrooms. It's going to have 2.
And it's all redone. It will be.
It will be. It'll be nice.
Okay. Wow. It's just cleaned out now.
Yeah.
Now comes the
rebuild.
Exactly.
Rebuild. Gotcha.
But
nice.
But there is something I want to ask you about that we did find. We found 14 cases of 45 records with the sleeves.
Wow.
And some of them are Elvis and Frank Sinatra.
Oh, bring them in. We'll do another segment with Mighty John, the record guy.
Yep.
Yeah, because I have someone going through them now, but I'm sure I can kind of get them and maybe have him.
You trust that person?
Well,
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if they're really rich, they found that one Elvis record.
That's a new car you're driving there, Bob. Why is that?
Where'd you get that car?
Mighty John does have that story about ripping off the church tag sale.
That's a Bentley,
Well,
is it?
this gentleman is my manager. I own a hardware store, so he's my manager. So
Okay.
I trust
You
him.
could trust him.
I trust
Why did he
him.
quit all of a sudden?
But if you want, we'll have bring in a box one day. We'll have him on, and then he could price some of these out, and then you just donate the money to or whatever.
No, we'll
do whatever you want.
No, we donate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The AJ Fund.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up here?
It's just, again, tools. That was the overall theme, and I just don't understand how all of this got accumulated by one person, and it was so organized. Everything was in its place. It was just really kind of mind-boggling to try to understand how this got to this point.
Wow.
But, yeah, there's just a
You'll
lot.
give us the info, then we'll link it up.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I gotta post that, yeah.
For the big tag sale. Yeah, AJ,
my friends
your friends will go
right now.
bananas.
Yep.
All right, Pat Finaro, owner, president at Home Remedies. Thank you, sir.